You've heard the survival rule of 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, right? Sounds smart, but it's not. Let's unpack the survival rule of 3 and other lies that could get you in serious trouble. Number 5, the unbreakable rule of 3. It's the first thing you learn from any survival blog, a neat little package of life or death data that's easy to remember when you're panicking. You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. It sounds so clean, so scientific, so reassuringly absolute. It gives your terrified brain a tidy checklist to follow. The only problem is, it's about as reliable as a weather forecast from a groundhog. It's a guideline, not a golden rule, and treating it as gospel is a fantastic way to get into some serious trouble. Let's break it down. 3 minutes without air. Sure, that one's pretty solid, but if you're in a situation where you don't have air, you're probably not calmly reviewing your survival priorities. Now, 3 hours without shelter. In a blizzard where the temperature is plunging to -20 degrees F, about -29 degrees C, you don't have 3 hours. You might have 30 minutes before hypothermia makes decision-making impossible. Conversely, if you're lost in a pleasant forest on a mild spring day, shelter is hardly your most pressing concern. 3 days without water? Try that in the searing heat of a desert while you're exerting yourself, and you'll be lucky to last a single day. The rule is a wild oversimplification that ignores the most important factor in any survival situation: context. It's like a one-size-fits-all hat. Sure, it technically goes on your head, but it's not going to be a perfect fit for anyone. Number 4, moss is nature's compass. You're lost. Your phone is a useless brick, the sun is hidden behind a blanket of gray clouds, and every tree looks exactly the same. But then, a glimmer of hope. You remember that one, single, brilliant tidbit of wilderness lore you picked up from a cartoon. Moss only grows on the north side of trees. Victory! You have a compass. You confidently pick a direction based on the nearest fuzzy green patch and start walking, feeling like a true master of the wild. You are, in all likelihood, walking in a completely random direction, possibly in circles. The idea that moss is a reliable directional indicator is a charming, but deeply flawed piece of folklore. Moss doesn't care about north or south. Moss cares about one thing and one thing only: living its best, damp, shady life. In the northern hemisphere, the south side of a tree gets the most direct sunlight, making it warmer and drier. Therefore, the north side is often shadier and retains more moisture, creating a perfect mossy paradise. But that's a tendency, not a law of physics. If a tree is in a dense, humid forest where sunlight is dappled everywhere, moss might grow all the way around the trunk like a fuzzy sweater. If it's shaded by a big rock or another tree, moss will happily colonize the south side. Relying on moss to navigate is like asking a house cat for directions. It has its own agenda, it doesn't understand your question, and it's probably just going to lead you to a comfortable place to nap. So, unless your intended destination is a slightly more damp part of the woods, you're better off trying another method. Number 3, the animal tasting menu. You're lost, you're hungry, and your diet for the past day has consisted of lint from your pocket and your own dwindling optimism. Then, you see it. A cheerful little bird, happily pecking away at some bright, juicy-looking red berries. A light bulb goes off in your head. If that bird can eat them, they must be safe, right? It's nature's little food safety inspection. So you pop a handful in your mouth, proud of your clever foraging. This is a monumentally bad idea. Following the dietary advice of a bird or a squirrel is like asking a fish for advice on how to climb a tree. Your biology and theirs are worlds apart. Many animals have evolved livers and digestive systems that are absolute powerhouses at neutralizing compounds that would send a human to the hospital. Birds can chow down on berries containing cyanide. Squirrels and rabbits can eat mushrooms, like certain species of amanita, that are famously toxic to people. Their bodies have spent generations developing the specific biological hardware to handle their local, poisonous buffet. Your body has spent generations preparing to handle DoorDash and microwave burritos. What is a perfectly fine Tuesday snack for a chipmunk could be a one-way ticket to agonizing stomach cramps, organ damage, or worse for you. The animal kingdom is full of creatures with iron stomachs, and you are not one of them. Following their lead is a game of biological roulette where you have no idea what the stakes are. Number 2, water is always priority 1. So we've already kicked the wobbly legs out from under the rule of 3. But if there's one piece of advice that seems unshakable, it's the importance of water. Every survival show, every manual, every expert screams it from the mountaintops. Find water. Dehydration is the real killer. So, no matter what, your first move should be to start searching for a nice, clear stream, right? Well, maybe. But blindly making water your top priority, without assessing your actual situation, is another smart-sounding rule that can lead you astray. Your real priority is not any one specific thing, but rather staving off whatever is going to harm you the fastest. Imagine you're stranded in a cold, rainy environment and you're already soaked. Your most immediate and deadly threat isn't dehydration, it's hypothermia. Your body is losing heat at an alarming rate. If you spend the next few hours pushing through wet underbrush looking for a creek, you might find one. But by then you could be too hypothermic to even drink from it, let alone build a fire or a shelter. In this case, the smart move is to ignore the quest for water temporarily and focus entirely on getting dry and insulated. You have to triage your emergencies. It's like being in a car that's on fire and also has a flat tire. You don't start with the tire iron. Fixating on finding water while you're freezing to death is like meticulously polishing the silverware while your house is flooding. You're showing great dedication to the wrong problem. Number 1, the magical thirst-quenching stone. You're in a bad spot. The sun is beating down, your canteen is bone dry, and your mouth feels like you just ate a bag of flour. Every survival instinct is screaming for water. Then you remember a clever little trick from an old book, a piece of ancient, stoic wisdom. Find a small, smooth stone and put it in your mouth. The logic seems sound. The pebble stimulates your salivary glands, your mouth feels wet, and the agonizing sensation of thirst subsides. You've outsmarted your own body, except you haven't. You've just fallen for one of the most pointless, albeit harmless, placebos in the survival world. Yes, putting a pebble in your mouth will make you salivate. Your mouth is a simple machine in that regard. It feels an object and thinks, aha, food, prepare the spit. But where do you think that saliva comes from? It doesn't magically materialize out of the rock. It's made of water. Water that your body is pulling from its own rapidly diminishing internal reserves. You are actively draining your system of the very resource you need to conserve, all for the temporary comfort of a slightly less dry tongue. It's like being almost bankrupt and deciding to feel better by taking the last of your money out of your savings account and just holding it in your hand. Sure, you feel richer for a second, but you haven't solved the underlying problem. You've just moved your scarce assets to a less useful location. It's a neat psychological trick that does absolutely nothing for your actual hydration levels. Your tongue might be fooled, but your kidneys are taking notes and they are not impressed. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.